Okay, so I've rebooted the virtual machine after the updates, so we can explore a little. Um, we have access to a terminal window, so we can, and it opens up in our home directory /home/Tony, my username. Um, Let me close the window. It's a standard desktop environment here with a number of different accessories available. We've got a file manager, so for graphical exploration of the file system, a PDF document viewer, a calculator image viewer, a text based editor called LeafPad. Uh, Internet, we've got a web browser, Firefox web browser, some basic office software, some software for playing, again, music files and video. Probably the first things one of the first things we want to do is look at how to install additional software. So you have several different options for doing that. Um, Probably the most convenient is via the software store. So click on the software link here, um, and it opens up this application. A little triangle here to see some additional categories. But I can click on any one of these and then see a bunch of different applications. I mentioned earlier that I usually install VLC, Audacity, MuseScore, all applications that I use pretty frequently. They're shown in order of rating. You can also list them by order, in order by name, and then if you install one, just click on it and then click install, and then click the back arrow here to go back to the main display page. So several hundreds, thousands of different applications are available here. You can click on any one of them to get some information about uh, what that particular application does. So that's one utility that you can use. The other one is actually under System Tools, the Synaptic Package Manager. You will have to have some elevated privileges in order to install applications. And this gives you a little information about Ubuntu. Um, the software is organized in packages, and then how to actually select packages. Again, this looks a little similar to actually the Cygwin package management window, where I can select different packages over here. There are different categories or sections that I can scroll through. If I'm looking for a particular package, I can also search for a particular application. Again, there may be several hundred different app packages that are listed, and then I can scroll down and list all the packages with make in the name or in the description or somewhere in them. So you can see it's a long list here before I can scroll down, and actually I went too far. Let's see if I can find make. There it is. So that's the recommend. And so I could just click that, mark it for installation, and then click apply. And it lists the software to be installed, and then also the software to be that's unchanged. Actually, I can update additional software here, mark all these for installation, and then click apply, and then it'll list some of the software to be upgraded and then others to be installed, and then just apply, and I can show the details. It will automatically download the software over the internet, and then in install it, and it was just that quick. It says changes applied, so now I can just close down the window, and I'm going to go ahead and close this. probably one of the things you'll want to do with VirtualBox is there's an additional set of software that comes with VirtualBox. It's called the guest editions that kind of enhance the experience of using a version of Linux inside VirtualBox. It provides better features for mouse integration. It also allows you to share folders between the guest and host operating systems. And then one of the things I like best about it is it allows you to rescale the background display, my Linux display, to fit my window, whatever size I fit my window. If you go to the view menu up here, we can go to full screen mode. It says I can either click here, it says hit the host key and F. The host key by default is the right control key, so the left control key doesn't act as the host key. So control F to go to full screen mode. Says it'll switch to full screen. I have to remember when I want to switch back to use the right control key again, and then hit F, control F again. But in full screen mode, it gets the full background, but again, my Linux background window didn't resize. So it's my Linux background surrounded by a black border, so control F again. So I want to install the guest edition. This gives me a lot of nice features. So go to devices menu and then install the guest editions. It appears actually as a virtual CD, and then so it's connected to the DVD, and then this window pops up. I'll open up connection to the DVD in my file manager. One of the main reasons I did this was actually to find out, the path to this CD. It's actually mounted in my file system. So go to System Tools now and open up a terminal window to actually install the guest editions. And the path here is in /media/ my username, and then vbox. Okay, and I do that directory listing, and then I want to run this vbox Linux editions, and it tells me actually that it's boarded the installation. I need to install this with administrative privileges, and then so you do that with the sudo command, sudo, for super user, act as super user. So actually, let me just go back up, and then sudo, and it'll prompt me for a username to make sure I'm allowed to do this, and then I'll try, at least it's got past the super user check, and it's gotten to a point here now where it's aborted again. It says I don't have actually the packages I need to install this. For example, it says I don't have GCC installed, and it's right. It's correct. I don't. So I could go back into the Synaptic package manager and install GCC that way. But I can also, it gives me a hint here when I type GCC that I can just type this command to install it at the command line. And it's going to actually download all the packages I need to install it. And what else did it say I needed? I think it said I needed, I've already installed make. I don't think I need G++, but to actually install the guest editions, but I'll want it for other development. And I think it also said I needed Perl. So go ahead and install that. It says Perl's already installed. So let me try this again. Okay, now it says it's building the VirtualBox guest editions. That this may take a while, so let's hang on here and see how long it actually takes. While this is going on, if you want to play around with the system, you can certainly do so. Explore some of the other utilities here. Again, you may want to install for a better office suite, more LibreOffice, or tons of other software that's available. You'll find a version of Code Blocks is available for the system as well. And then, so now it's installed the guest editions. It says, though, the running kernel modules will not be replaced until the system is restarted. So let me shut down the window here. And then also I can eject the guest editions CD by clicking on the little up triangle here. That'll shut down that window. And actually I can log out or go over here to I really want to actually reboot the system. So hang with me just a second or two while my system reboots. Now I've got the guest editions installed, and so let's see what additional features that provides. Okay, it's done a disk check here initially, and so that didn't take too long. Now let's see what happens. For example, as I resize my window, there's a little delay there as the background automatically resizes my window. Again, one of the neat things I can do now is hit the right control key and F, and I'm going to click that box. I don't want to see that again, and again, it'll take just a second, and then now I've got a full screen version of Lubuntu running on my virtual machine, and with Windows completely hidden in the background. So Control F to go back to running this in a window, and again it automatically resizes the background to fit the window. Show you one last thing that's kind of neat here. Let me just actually start up a terminal. One of the other views that you have is what's called seamless mode. Again, I can get that from the menu or by typing Control L and switch to seamless mode. And then what this does is actually hides the complete background for my Linux virtual machine, allowing Linux client applications to appear, alongside my Windows applications on the same background. I tend not to actually use this mode. How was it I get out of it? I think I just reset my virtual machine by hitting Control R, which is not really what I wanted to do. I was just trying to get out of seamless mode, but I forgot how to do it. I told you I didn't use it that often. It was actually, I should hit Control L, and it tells me here to actually reboot the machine by hitting Control R. So fortunately it's not a disaster. Just log back in, and again I don't want to see that message every time. I know the right control key is my host key, so get rid of that. I'm still in that seamless mode with no applications. What was that? Control L to get out of that? Okay, so it came back actually up in seamless mode. So again, I don't really use that. I do use it in full screen mode quite often. So now I've got kind of a full-blown Unix system. Again, if you want, we can go into here and then install additional applications. Again, I might look in software first, and then if I want to actually install code blocks, I can do a search for it and click there, install it. It's going to prompt me for my password. Hang on here just a second while it installs. So it's downloaded and then now it's installing, and it is almost complete here. So finally, and then I can either launch it here, or it should actually appear now in my menu, and I've got a new menu item here called programming. And so as you install additional applications, they should appear in your start menu here. So that completes, I think, this video on installing the guest editions. I don't think there's actually anything else I need to cover, so that's it for this series of videos.